I'm just holding in my hand the software development and data engineering with Python mind map. This mind map will help you understand what can Python be used for. Python can be used for different use cases, and that's also why it is increasingly more popular recently. Python can be used for web development or data engineering. So you will be able to understand this on a high level after you study this mind map. And then next time there is a hiring manager who is looking for a Python data engineer, you will know who exactly to look for. And when you talk to a candidate who says he is a web developer using Django, you will also know that you are actually talking to a Python backend developer. So yeah, let's kick it off, shall we? Python can be used for a few different use cases. It could be used for web development, it can also be used for data engineering, it could be used for data science, for some scripting, it could be used to develop programs for Internet of Things, and also a little robotics here and there. So starting with web development, there are some frameworks that those developers who use Python to build websites start using to kickstart a new project. So for example, Django or Falcon, Flask, AIO, HTTP. So these frameworks are used to start a new project from scratch. So they are some kind of a template that a developer can start using right away. So then, as a recruiter, when you visit a profile of a candidate who has in the title written Python Django developer, then you know that you are looking at a profile of a backend web developer. So someone who develops websites using Python and Django framework. As I mentioned, Python can be used for data engineering as well. So by data engineering, we mean the migration of some data from one source to another source. It could be one table or several tables. So Python engineers can develop some ETL processes. ETL stands for extract, transform, and load. We were looking at this specific acronym on the page number 7 when we were reviewing that particular mind map, the mind map with the most common IT acronyms. So the ETL was there. The data engineers use Python to migrate data. So when you see on someone's profile, for example, this keyword ETL or some of the related tools for ETL, then it is safe to assume that you are looking at a data engineer. So this person would not be coding the website, but rather take care of some data pipelines. Some Python specialists or some IT specialists use Python, would be probably more accurate to say. So these IT specialists use Python to create some data science models. They can use some of these libraries such as NumPy or SciPy to analyze data using some statistical models. They can deploy some more advanced statistical methods, also some mathematical functions using some existing libraries written in Python. So that is also why Python has been increasingly more popular in the last 3-4 years, because more and more IT professionals use Python for the data science use case. And you know that data analysis is increasingly more popular and demanded. So that's also why Python is more popular and demanded. Python can also be used for scripting. So for example, for server administration or for some simple image or text processing, for cloud, DevOps automation. A lot of data, not just data, but say administrators in general can use some basic scripts in Python to do some admin work. So the admin work could be to spin off a new server or to adjust an existing server or to automate some part of the deployment within the continuous integration, continuous deployment pipeline. It could be to process images automatically. It's easy with one image, but how would you process 10,000 images? Well, you need some script that can go through 10,000 images one after another. The Internet of Things is also booming these days. So Python is a great programming language to use for this particular use case. For example, for some Arduino or Raspberry Pi devices, but not only. The use of robots, and I mean not robots for kids, right? But I mean robotics in Industry 4.0, for example. So those robots need to be somehow programmed. They need to be scripted, so to speak, so they can navigate in a data warehouse. So Python could be used exactly for this purpose. So as you can see, when the hiring manager comes and says, hey, Michael, we need a Python developer, it's not as straightforward. You cannot just go to LinkedIn and type just anyone with a skill Python, because you may be looking at a data scientist, a backend developer, a data engineer, or a DevOps specialist. So you need to understand who exactly are you looking for. Are you looking for a data scientist or a data engineer? Are you looking for a robotics specialist? Are you looking for a backend web developer? So this is something you need to analyze from the job requirement. And if you need a little more help with regards to these job requirements, then remember that inside the Tech Recruitment Academy, we have different modules, and one of them focuses on analyzing job requirements. So it is the third or fourth or fifth one, actually, analyzing IT job requirements, IT job descriptions, where you can learn how to read between the lines, which is exactly what I'm referring to. When you look at a job requirement, you need to identify if you are looking for, or if the hiring manager is looking for a data scientist or data analyst or a robotics specialist, right? So you need to figure it out from the job requirement. And this is exactly inside this module with several examples. And you can also revisit some other modules. For example, the module that focuses on recruiting web developers, because some of the backend developers use Python. So that's also included in this module. Or recruiting data and BI specialists, just because some data engineers and data scientists use Python, as I mentioned. So make sure to check out this one as well. Okay, cool. So with this, I guess I'll wrap it up. You have now a high-level overview of what Python can be used for. So next time you get a job requirement, just think about who exactly are you going after. So I hope you found this mind map useful, and if you are an IT recruiter, if you are a talent acquisition specialist, if you try to find more IT candidates, you may find the whole booklet useful, because it includes over 40 mind maps. And I have also recorded videos that explain each of them, just because I know how hard it is for people who transition from non-tech field to IT. So inside the members area in the Tech Recruitment Academy, you will find videos interpreting each of these 40 mind maps. So if you would like to talk to hiring managers with confidence, if you'd like to screen candidates faster, then these mind maps will help you. And it's in fact our best-selling product, because it helps people to understand the whole and very complex IT on a high level. And then we dive deeper. So there are some mind maps that focus on the web development landscape, mobile application development, and then, for example, software development with Java landscape, or software development with PHP or with Python, data engineering. And then also a few Boolean search operators, screening questions. So these mind maps are priceless source for anyone who is transitioning from non-IT field to IT field. And you may know that I've been in IT for about 15 years before I started creating these mind maps. And it took me 2 years to get to this booklet, to these 40 mind maps. So I've been working on it for 2 years with my colleagues, with my clients. I was using these mind maps during some of those training sessions. And this is the best content I have come up with so far. So you can now get the whole booklet in a PDF file. You can just go to the website itrecruitermindmaps.com and get your PDF now. You can then join the members area and also watch some of these videos where I explain the mind map, so you are not lost anymore.